Do you want a P100 character? Or perhaps you just want to prestige one? Maybe you're interested in knowing how the blood web actually works? Or maybe you're just a little bit greedy? No matter what, I'm going to show you today how to efficiently do the blood web and how to save blood points while actually doing the blood web, and how to min-max your output while also abusing the entity, which we all want to do. It isn't super well known, and I actually don't see many people do it or even talk about it, but it is really easy to understand and really easy to learn how you actually can efficiently spend your blood points. And I don't see many people try to min-max their blood webs, and with min-max I mean spend as little blood points as possible while at the same time leveling up as much as possible. Before we get into it, there are 4 things that we actually have to keep in mind though. The first one is understanding when the entity becomes active. The second one is that we are not supposed to prioritize anything. And the third one is just generally planning out the things you're going to do. The most important one of these to understand is the second one, where you are not to prioritize anything at all. And what I mean by that is that you will not be prioritizing getting a certain item or a certain perk or anything, because if you do that, then it might actually ruin it. But of course you can still do it. I just want to show people what I've noticed while I'm doing a lot of blood webs and how you can efficiently do it and spend as little blood points as possible, which is a reinvestment for yourself and your future to get every single character in this game P100, which I will make sure that you do. Okay, let's begin. The first thing to note is that I'm not going to use the automatic blood web, and I wouldn't even if I could. And one of the first thing that I will teach you is that the entity doesn't become active until level 10, which means that through level 1 to 9 nothing will happen. You have to take every single thing you see on the blood web, which we will do now. With every single one of these levels, we will get 1 perk to choose from, which will change later into getting to choose between 2 perks, and then 3 perks, and eventually 4 perks. So we're gonna get our way onto level 10, which is the first level where you get to choose between 2 perks. The thing is, you won't get to choose between 2 perks in a little while. You get to choose in level 10, and then you won't get to choose between 2, I think, until level 25 or something. I'm probably wrong with that. We'll see as we go along. So the first thing to note is that when you take a perk and there is 2 perks on the blood web, the entity will instantly take the other perk that you see. So if I get We're Gonna Live Forever, the entity is gonna instantly take Quick and Quiet, and vice versa. This is important because you always want to get your first perk. You want to get your first perk as soon as possible, because if you don't, you will delay when the entity spawns. Now, what can I see here? If I take We're Gonna Live Forever, it's gonna take this one, and then I take whatever, and at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what I do, because I will spend basically the same amount of blood points. This one you see is 3,250 blood points, and the purple one is 4,000 blood points, which means that there is a 750 blood point difference. And then we have a red twine here, which is 2,500 compared to this that is a brown add-on that is 2,000, meaning that if we take We're Gonna Live Forever, we're gonna save 250 blood points compared to taking this one. 250 blood points isn't really much. So we can't really save too much from this blood web. We're just gonna do this, then just, you know, take whatever. Now, level 11 will be the same as the past ones. You will not get the entity spawning here. The entity will, however, spawn in level 12 and upwards. So, level 12, what can we see here? The first thing you want to do whenever you're doing this, by the way, is actually analyze your blood web and see where you can save money. Which I can see here. We have a purple add-on, which is, you know, expensive, which means that we want to ignore this. It's going to be really easy, because the entity in level 12 only takes 1 single offering or perk, which is going to be this one. Another thing to note is that the entity prioritizes things that are as far out as possible, which means that if I take self-aware and whatever, I take everything except 1 thing, then the entity will take the one that is furthest out, meaning that if I take all of these, it will take the purple one. Instead, if I take all of these, it will take this one automatically. It's okay, it's not a important note now, but it's good to know that the entity will always take the thing that is furthest out in the, you know, blood web circle. So we take this, and then it takes this purple one, saving us a few blood points. Next one, level 13. I think it will still just take 1 if we do this. Yeah. We can't do anything about this. This is the best one to take. We're gonna be forced to take the purple one, which is It hurts. We want to avoid that as much as possible. Actually, I think it's level 15 we get 2 perks. Okay, so here, what can we do here? We can try to make the entity take these 2. How we do that is we take Dark Sense and then we go up to this one. Because what I said earlier, the entity will always prioritize what is at the edge. Which means that if I take Dark Sense and then I take maybe this one and this one, there is a risk that the entity will actually consume this one instead. So we want the entity to take the more expensive add-ons. And how we do that is by eliminating all of these ones that are on the edge, so we minimize the risk of the entity actually consuming what we don't want it to consume. So we do this, then 0, 0, and 0. Then level 15, I think we get 2 perks here. Yes, exactly. So this is a good one. What we will do here is take kinship, because the entity will consume this one. What the entity does, if it consumes one thing, it will consume all of the things that are connected to it and only to it. I explained that really poorly. What I mean is it's going to consume this and then it's going to consume this afterwards because it can't consume the mystery box, which means that it will consume this. It won't consume Prove Thyself, then Glass Bead, and then the mystery box. Instead, it will consume this, and then when it consumes the Glass Bead, it will also consume this. My plan for this one is to go down kinship, and then I'm going to take this one, because when I take this one, the entity will consume these. And then I'm going to consume this one because I want to turn the entity's focus to this add-on instead. And why I want to do that is because otherwise it's going to consume this one, which is a brown offering, which is really cheap. So if I don't consume this one, then the entity will, which can sometimes waste blood points for me. So we take these, like this, and then we just have the brown add-ons to take. Now, next one, level 16. If this was a much bigger blood web, what we would try to do is make sure that the entity takes adrenaline, then goes up for this one, and then takes the mystery box, and then actually consumes this one as well. We will see that in later levels though. So the one we want the entity to take is this one, the yellow toolbox. I will try to do it. I can't guarantee on this certain blood web. What we'll do is get adrenaline, then go down to the cake. And there is a 50-50 right there. I do not know if it will take the toolbox or this one. In this case, I actually did. I'm just a little bit stupid, but I couldn't really have done anything to prevent it from taking the this one. It was either this one or this one in this case, because this one is closer to the middle than these two. So I kind of had to choose between the entity consuming this one or this one. I hope I'm explaining this so people understand. I don't think I am, actually. Here we have a purple one, but what we also have is an opportunity for the entity to take 2 for 1, which in this case can actually be worth it, because these two together are more expensive than this purple one. So what we do is we take Quick and Quiet, then we move up here, and try to make the entity consume something else, but we couldn't, we didn't have time. So we take this one, which is 2,000, this one, which is 2,000. Now, level 18, same thing. We're going to take this one to activate the entity as early as possible. And then we are going to just make sure that it takes these 2 yellow add-ons. We do like this. We take one here. Let's see, the entity spawns here, which is good. I take the battery, it consumes this. I take this map, it consumes this. And then I take whatever. Now, level 19, checking the blood web. We have yellows here, here, here. Alright, we're gonna do this. See, the entity spawns over here. It will probably take this. I'm just going down and taking the cake. Just try to save as much blood points as possible, which is the goal of this. Now we're gonna permanently have 2 perks spawn. We can see here, these 2 perks are basically connected because they both come from this yellow wire. You see, that's what they are connected to the same like center add-on or offering, and the center add-on offering is the one that is closest to the circle in the middle. What we're gonna do is take No One Left Behind, because the It Will Consume will make it, which in turn will consume the Leather Grip and take 2 for 1, which is good for us. So we're gonna go this. Then we want the entity to spawn down here. So how we do that is we take this, and then we take this, and then we take this and this. If I had another offering left, this is important to know, if I had another offering left, it would consume this one and this one, because you saw it consumed the offering, and then it went and took the medkit instead of the battery. Do you want to know why? Yes, you do, because if you take... oh, how can I explain this, actually? If I had another offering left, it would take this one. But the player will always take the last offering, and the entity will never take the last offering. And that is why it couldn't consume this, because I took this offering, and if the entity consumed the battery, that meant that the entity would take the last offering or add-on or whatever, which it never does. The player is always one that takes the last one, which is why it consumed this one instead of the battery and consuming both of them, which is important to know because you can actually use that to your advantage. In 21, we can see... What? Okay, it doesn't have 2 perks, I guess. We'll just take all the cheapest ones. Gonna go down here. Whatever. Now it's just about taking the cheapest ones on these levels. Right here, we're gonna take this. We're gonna go up to the map to see... Okay, good. It's spawning here. What will happen, it will take this one, this one, this one, and consume both. So what I'm gonna do is do this... this, and then this is what I'm talking about. If I didn't have this offering, the wedding ring offering, and I would take the map, then it would simply consume this. But because I have 2 offerings left, it will take this one and this one. Like that. And then I take this and I saved 500 because of that. Here again, I see an opportunity where it can go here, 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 and consume these 2. That is what you're most likely... That is what you're most always looking for. Places for the entity to consume 2 for 1, or possibly more than 2 for 1. We'll go down here, we'll go up here, we'll go here, and then here, and then easy win. So this one's a little bit difficult. We could make it take 2 for 1 here, by getting this, and then going down here. Okay, good, yes. And then we'll do this, and then obviously I'm gonna take this instead of the green one. This is the only exception, by the way. I said that the player will always take the last move. That will not happen if there is only 2 things left and it's the player's turn. Because basically, the Blood Web is turn-based between you and the entity. And if there's only 2 offerings left, then you have no other option to do that. But if the entity has the ability to actually prevent the entity from doing the last move, then it will. But now it can't do that, so it won't. Now, 25. Now we get 2 perks plus onward. So we can look at this like this here. If we take Deja Vu, then the entity can go up here and it will take 2 for 1 here and 2 for 1 here. Otherwise, we can do No One Left Behind, which means the entity will go up here and take 2 for 1 as well. The right one is more favorable because it's cheaper, which is why we're going to prioritize it like this. Then take these, just take the cheapest offerings, like this, and then like this. We're getting rid of the 4,000 one. Right, here... We can't really do much here, and this is the point where you just take whatever you want. Like, if you wanted Counterforce, take Counterforce. If you wanted Clairvoyance, take Clairvoyance, because you can't really do anything here. Because this won't consume 2 for 1, because they are all connected in a triangle. If these 2 weren't connected, then it would take both of them. But since they are connected, then it will just take this one. And it will take this one because it is the furthest out from this one. If that makes sense. It is the furthest away from the circle. Here, this is just maths. I could take either one, but I think this is going to be more favorable because we have 2 purple offerings here. And when I say offerings, I obviously don't only mean offerings. So we do like this, and the next one, we do this. Then we go up here, and this and this. I'm not explaining it too much right now, but I hope that's fine. Here I see an opportunity. This is where 50-50s come in. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It's based on like, a couple of different factors. If we take Deja Vu, it will go down here, here, and then it will go down here. And what it could do is take this one and consume both of them, but it won't because these two are connected. Which is why I'm going to take this one, because it will consume these and then these, like that. But we're going to take this one as well. We don't want the entity consuming this one because it's a cheap offering. So we prioritize the cheap offerings, but we also prioritize the entity doing what it wants. Now, obviously, you can still, you know, do whatever you want. If this one was like bloody party streamers or something, that is obviously better for you to take, because in the long run, you will gain more blood points because you have a party streamers. You could either take this one, if that was a streamers, or this one to save in the moment. It's not only about, you know, min-maxing as much as possible. You can obviously prioritize certain things if you want to, but a lot of the time prioritizing things isn't worth it, because you will always get that perk, you will always get that item, that offering or whatever in the future. So you shouldn't prioritize them right now. Okay, here we have two opportunities. Either this one will consume all of these, or this one will consume all of these, which is what I'm going to do, because we have two purple things here, which we want to avoid taking. I'm gonna take all the cheaper ones, go down here and here. I kind of messed up a little bit, but it's fine. Here, this should be pretty clear. We can't really do anything with this. If we take this one, this doesn't really help us. So we take self-aware and things. Blah blah blah. Here we take this one, it will consume these two. We take this and this. Right here is a troublesome one because it doesn't really benefit us in that many ways. But what we can do is make the entity go here, 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 and here, and then consume these two. That is the only really thing that I see right now. So we do that, do this, and then I'll consume this one because it's cheap and I don't want to risk the entity taking it. And then do this. Level 33. We see this one. This is a huge potential for it can consume all of these. We can't do this in the earlier levels, but if we were like 5 levels ahead, we could instead ignore taking any perks at all and take a bunch of stuff that is out here, and it will consume a perk, and then it would take all of these things instead. But we can't do that right now, so we take no either to make it consume these. Then we'll go here. And then just do this to avoid it taking this, because this is going to be cheap for us to take compared to this. Then we'll do this, and then we'll do this. Again, I'm not explaining stuff that much. I just hope that you get how I'm thinking. Here, it's easy. We take these, 0. And then when you have a set path where the entity will consume as much things as possible, just focus on taking, seeing what you can take that is the cheapest to take. Which right now is this. And doing this. Right. 35. We have an opportunity here. We do this. Then we got 2 in 1, which is really nice. When you get until, yeah, like 35 plus, you will get a lot of opportunities every time to min-max. So this is another tricky one. What we could do is take this one and make sure the entity consumes all of these, or alternatively we could make it consume all of these. If we wanted to make it consume all of these, we would have to take this bandage offering, because this is where the 50-50s come in. If I take this situational awareness, whatever, and I want that to go here, if the entity is right here and I haven't taken either this or this, then it will be a 50-50 if it prioritizes either this one or this one. So if I want the entity to go this path, then I have to take these bandages to prevent it from actually consuming this instead, which is not what I want to do. Anyways, I'm gonna do this, make it consume downwards. Here, if I take this, now this is a 50-50 as well. If I could take this, for example, then it will either take this one or this one, and it is a 50-50 because they are both at the same, they're both as close to the circle as, they are both, because they are at the same distance to the circle, so it's just like a coin flip, whichever one it will take, which is why I take this one, so it takes this instead. So here again, I'm gonna take this because it goes down like this, and then I take this one, and then right here I'm going to take this one because we don't want to risk taking this one and then the entity consuming that one. After that we have this one. We're gonna do this right here. Then we're gonna do this. Same thing again. We want it to go here, but it's a 50-50, so we take this one. You know? That is the most important things. Don't risk stuff like that, because it could bite you in your ass. Here again, pretty simple one. We take resilience. It goes down this path. When you come to these higher levels, it will be extremely... it will be very often where you can min-max in the blood webs compared to the earlier levels. Yeah, that was... I shouldn't have taken the medkit here. Instead, I should have pushed toward this to try to make sure that the entity takes one of these two instead of this one. So it could consume 2 for 1 right here, but I didn't do it. But it's fine. So just take whatever. Right here we don't have too many good opportunities, so we're gonna go up here. Ooh, I did not want... I thought I would take resilience there, which is bad, because now I won't be able to do this thing. I took the red twine. I thought it would spawn over here. That's what all the 50-50 is about. You really can't predict it. Right here, we have what I was talking about before, but we have 3 offerings, so it's even easier. Or 3 perks. So we take left behind. It's either going to take this one or this one. Doesn't matter. Like that. Then it goes down and consumes these. I'm going to take this one. It's going to consume this one. And then I take this other 2001. And then this last 2001. Right. This I'm gonna take streetwise, so we can go and kind of connect these two. When you are in level 40 and up, you want to make sure that you connect 2 perks, because these 2 perks are connected to the same kind of inner offering, which means that we can make them consume each other, which is really good. So we take streetwise. We then go take this one to prevent it from messing us up. Then we'll go here. Then we're gonna go here. And then we're gonna take this one, and it's gonna consume this and this. And then like this. That was a perfect showcase of the blood web. Alright. Here we're gonna do the same. These two are kind of connected. We go get leader. Like I said, it will always prioritize taking perks over anything else when you have more than 1 perk, and when you take your first perk, it's always going to consume the other one. So like this, this, and this. Right here we have the same kind of thing. We go down here, and here. Right now we can't really do anything. If it takes this one, it won't consume all of these, so we're gonna take this one battery instead, and this one to save blood points. Otherwise we would be forced to take more expensive offerings than we would like to. Right here we want it to take this one. We want it to take borrowed time, which is kind of a 50-50. If we take Dead Hard, it will most certainly take We're Gonna Live Forever. What we can do is take We're Gonna Live Forever, and if it takes Dead Hard, we go down this one and go down this path, and then it will consume either this one, and this one, and this one. And the reason why it won't prioritize a perk in this case is because it has already consumed Dead Hard at this point, so the entity won't prioritize taking borrowed time, because it has already in this level taken a perk and prioritized taking a perk. So we're gonna do this. It took borrowed time, which is good. We take this one to prevent it from branching out here. Then we're gonna take the cheapest options, which I kind of feel that, especially with this one. Whatever, it doesn't matter too much. We did save quite a few blood points there. We have a chance here to make these connect, but I'm not sure. We take this. It takes this one. I go out here. Yes, we did actually manage to do this. Hell yeah. I think the best way to learn about blood web is actually watching someone do it properly, which is me, of course. We do this. No! We do this. It takes this. Zion. We take this and this, just because it's the cheapest offerings. And then we take this one, so we don't have to take this one. Then we'll do this. This. Oh shit. I could have foreseen that. Now when we kind of messed up, we just have to prioritize taking the cheapest ones where we can't really abuse the entity. This one's the same. We'll do this. It takes this. 0. Oh, I hate when it takes this one, but it usually does prioritize the cheapest things. And then in level 50 we will usually have 4 perks. These are the most difficult ones, the level 50 ones, because then there are very many that are connected to each other. We're gonna do this. Right, and now we reached our level 50. So, what I'm gonna do now, in the future of this video, is I'm gonna show you a little time-lapse of... So, what's gonna happen now is I'm gonna do a time-lapse of how the entity works when you're doing automatic blood web, and then you can see the comparison of, Then we can see the comparison of how much blood points we actually spent in each of them. And then after that, I will do another blood web where I will show you how to actually properly min-max it. So you can learn and follow along, because every single level and every single blood points, or every single level and every single blood web thing will be unique. You will never have the 2 same ones, basically. And it is good to learn by watching. So if you still are unsure, I recommend you continue watching the second one I will make. But now we will do the automatic blood web, which sucks, okay? It really, really sucks. In the beginning, it's really good. The first 10 levels, or the first 9, is really good. Because it really doesn't do anything wrong. It just takes everything you can. But the thing with the blood web is that it prioritizes the most expensive things. Not only that, they never prioritize abusing the entity. And if you haven't understood it, what I mean with abusing the entity is kind of controlling where it ends up and controlling what it does and doesn't like consume in your blood web for you to be ordered to like get a prestige or whatever as quickly as possible. So we're gonna go through. I don't even think that I will have enough blood points to finish it. How much did I have? Like 760k? I think so. Something like that. And like, when you know how to properly do a blood web with spending as little amount of blood points as possible, looking at how the automatic blood web works is disgusting. And I'm not like asking that it shouldn't work this way. I don't think that behavior needs to change, the automatic blood web and how it works. It's just sad to see how much of your blood points actually get spent and wasted when you do it like this. Because it doesn't take advantage of actually using the entity to your advantage. And it will prioritize taking the most expensive things. And especially when you're in an event like I am, the anniversary event, please don't use the automatic blood web. Right here, I would take the offering, and then I would use the automatic blood web, because I've lost a lot of like offerings and stuff like that because I used the automatic blood web. Because they never prioritize the good offerings, and it's the same with escape cakes, with party streamers and everything. It will never ever prioritize it, so you might miss out on a lot of things. So I'm halfway through, and I just have 300,000 blood points left. That is not good at all. Because the higher level you get, the more expensive the blood webs get to become to get through. And especially when you're using the automatic blood web. So I mean, there's no chance I will be able to prestige again. I would have been able to prestige twice if I did use my strategy. Because I started off with, what, like 1.3 million? 1.3 million blood points. And then I was left with like 730 and whatever. I was left with more than half of what I started with, which tells me that I could have prestiged twice. Whereas when I use the automatic blood web, I will barely be able to make it to level 40 at this stage, which is just horrible to see. It is horrible for my blood point saving eyes. Like, you can just see, if you pay a little bit of attention to how it works, you can see how much it ruins of min-maxing. So right now we're stuck at level 42 and we're out of blood points. if I didn't use the automatic blood web, I would be I would be prestige 2 at this stage. So what I'm gonna do now is do a little bit more of the blood web, but I'm gonna keep it a little bit shorter, and just to get the idea to people who don't really understand what I mean yet, and can actually learn more visually from like visually watching it on how to actually correctly do it. If you are not interested, thanks for watching this far, and I hope you find an amazing other video to watch. But if you want to stay, please do. Please stay. Please. Sup, I'm back from binge watching Peaky Blinders for 2 weeks straight, but I thought I would finish this video. So now, in this part, I'm gonna show you what you can do when you actually don't have any perks to unlock anymore. Like you see on Steve, I don't have any perks that I can choose, which means that the entity will take a little bit longer until it actually spawns and starts consuming stuff. Right here, we're just gonna let it go down here, zoom like that. And just take this. I'm actually giving up a cake for that, so that's kind of insane. Up here, we can either choose to try to get it here or down here. I think we might not have enough for it to actually successfully go down here, but I'll try. Yeah, look, we don't get anything from this because we didn't have time until the entity spawns, which is why it's a little bit more difficult when you don't have any perks left to choose from. And also I know that I have said some wrong stuff. I said that I started off with like 1.3 million. I didn't. I started off with like 1.6 million. But the thing still stands where you actually spend way less when you're not using the automatic blood web compared to like doing it manually. I'm just gonna continue like this. The thing is as well, here what I want to do is take this and hope that the entity takes this instead of this. If I take this one, the entity will 100% take this one. So to try to save money from taking the shitty oddball, I will take this. It did take the thing here. It was kind of a 50-50, which you have to do sometimes. The thing also is that the higher level you are, the more blood points you will spend per like blood web level. In the earlier levels, like let's say when you're level 12 or something in the blood web, you will not be able to save as many blood points as if you're like 41, for example. Because if you're like in the much lower levels, you will save maybe 250, 500 here, and you know 2,000 there. But when you come to the higher levels, you can actually save like thousands at a time. So let's see if we can make this here. Here we were successful in doing this, which is really nice. I'm not gonna do like a comparison with how much it takes to, how much blood points it takes in order to, how much you save doing it manually and in this way compared to doing with the automatic blood web, because I don't have time for that, and I also don't want to sit and collect 5 million blood points. And also something that I mentioned earlier to keep in mind is that every single blood web is unique, which is why you can't really autopilot it. You've got to be aware of what you're doing and try to like look and make sure that you understand what your general plan is. Here at 45 plus it gets a little bit cluttered when you don't have any perks, because here it's really difficult to see what I can kind of focus on. But what I see is that we want the blood or the entity to spawn here, here, or here, because if it does, then it will consume like this, like the following of my mouse, which means that I'm going to take this right here and make sure that the entity doesn't spawn over here. So we spawn down here, which is fine. It's still part of the same kind of thing that I wanted it to consume, like this. Perfect, actually. And then we just continue doing this until like we're done with it. Here, it's if the entity spawns here, it will not consume a lot, which is why I start with that. You always start where you think that the entity won't consume too much. Here what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna take the 50-50 and instead take this one, because it could still, if I take this one for example, the entity might consume this instead of this, which isn't what we want. We want it to guarantee doing this. So we take this, and then if we had one more like offering left, it would take these two as well, which it won't, which is a little bit sad, but it's, you know, it's still like saving a bunch of stuff. And especially with the automatic blood web, you save a lot more blood points on the later levels. Like you can use the automatic blood web in like I don't know, like level 20 or whatever, and it will not like be too terrible for you. So you can still use it in earlier levels, but when the higher level you get, the more you will actually lose from using the blood web. Except for time, which is of course, oh, I really messed up there, which is of course the reason why people use the automatic blood web, because they want to save time. Not a lot of people are like me. Well, I guess not a lot of people. Wait, a lot of people don't do stuff that I do and that other people do, which is every single time you play a game, usually you spend all of your blood points unless you're saving for something special. Like every single time I have played a game and I get blood points from the game, I will like instantly spend them, but I know a lot of people who just like bank them up and never spend their blood points and just kind of like build it up until they have 2 million, and then they don't know what to do because they don't know what to spend it on, which is why the automatic blood web is good for people like that who just wants to save it up and stuff like that. Something I'm really confused about is that I prestiged Nia. Wait, I prestiged Nia earlier in the video. She's only prestige 1, but I haven't gotten a single Nia perk in my blood web. What? How do I already have them prestige 3? What? Wait, what? I have all the Nia perks prestige 3 for no reason. You saw me do the blood web. I'm not sure if I have like, if I did something when I wasn't recording and I was playing the game, if I started leveling up Steve to get her perks or something. I actually don't remember. Because here we're losing a lot of blood points and we can't like do anything to save any blood points right here. Which is, you know, it is whatever. But it's really nice to have the automatic blood web here in these instances. Level 10, it will take 1. Because we don't have any perks, I think. Though it takes 2, actually. So now, when we get back to the entity spawning, we just look around and see the most expensive offering and make sure that the entity takes that, which we can't do here, sadly, because we have this. We need to take this right here, and we only save on a yellow, which is not the nicest. They could have swapped places, but sometimes you will get things like that. Here we have the petrified oak, obviously. It will probably take 2 things. I think it does that in 13? No, it doesn't actually, never mind. If it did, then we could have just done whatever to make sure it takes a yellow one as well and doesn't take anything for 2000. Right here, it's gonna take this, I think. I accidentally pressed the automatic blood web, but it didn't matter too much. Here we have this one, but we also have an opportunity for the entity to consume multiple things over here. I don't think it will if we focus on this. If we try to make the entity consume these, it probably won't. So I'm gonna go here. I did it anyways. I did the opposite thing of what I was thinking of doing. Okay, a little brain issues right there, but it's fine. It's what I'm trying to show people as well. It's that it's not really the end of the world if you like fail or whatever. Doesn't matter too much. You just like, you may lose a few blood points, but I mean, yeah, like I said, it's not really the end of the world losing a few blood points. And then also when you have let's say you have 2 green offerings that you're forced to pick between. Let's say we have this one, and then we might have, you know, whatever, a like green Bloodpoint offering, what I recommend is trying to take the thing that will help you the most. Either an add-on like this one, gauze roll, which is really good with medkits and pretty common to use. If you use a lot of medkits, prioritize taking this over the like other green add-on that you could potentially have to choose between, or alternatively take the one that gives you blood points, because obviously that's nice to get some more blood points. I think I do this. Oh wait, yeah. I want to make sure the entity took the green one. But especially when you're like P100ing a character, you don't really care about what offerings you're gonna take because you get so many of every single one of them anyways. I don't think I can make it gets down here, honestly. So when you see a blood web where you won't be able to min-max, what you do is just make sure that you guarantee yourself getting all the cheaper ones. Okay, but what's gonna happen in this blood web is that it's gonna consume this and this, and then I can take this and this. Okay, so that was it for this video. I hope you learned something today. It wasn't supposed to be the most serious video. It's supposed to be like a little bit you shouldn't take everything I say like as, you know, the law. Do whatever you want to. You just want to see, because I don't see enough people like utilizing the blood web and actually utilizing the entity in order to save blood points, which I hope that it actually did for you. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to shower. And I'll see you hopefully in my streams or in my next video, whatever you prefer. And say bye to my beautiful Demogorgon. Meow.